Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to today's workshop, which is called Win at Eating, and it's about batch cooking. My name is Christina Savage, if you don't know me. If you do know me, most of you know me as a very experienced yoga teacher, but I also have my degree in psychology. I'm also a certified personal trainer, and I'm an integrative, holistic health coach. So that's really what I'll be introducing today. And I pretty much have studied health and nutrition my entire life. I even started studying dietetics at one point. And all the time in my classes, I'd raise my hand and ask, why? Why? And after some time, I started noticing that, the teachers, started getting annoyed with me, and I was getting frustrated because I really wanted to have a deeper understanding of, why these things, exist the way they do, and understand how they were related, and those questions never got answered, which led me, to go into the health coaching. And so basically for me, viewing the body as a whole system, it's imperative. And that's exactly what I was taught in my health coaching school. And that is something I'm very happy to be able to provide to all of you and to all of my clients. So today we're going to talk about batch cooking. Some of you might be scratching your heads and wondering, okay, what exactly is batch cooking? Is anyone familiar with that term? No? Anyone have any guesses?
Is it like meal prepping? Food and preparing it all at once?
Yeah, it's kind of similar, but I think a lot of times when people hear the word meal prepping, they go, and so this is more enjoyable than meal prepping. It's not like just, putting your food together and having it in Tupperware and storing it and having the same lunch Monday to Friday, or, it's a little bit different. So batch cooking is exactly what it sounds like. It's cooking food in bigger batches that can be used to create several different meals, as opposed to just cooking, for one meal. So that's the beauty of it. That being said, can anyone think of some benefits of batch cooking? Time, yeah, definitely. Anything else? Money, yeah, definitely. Ladies, there's some handouts there if you want to grab them on the counter. Yeah, time and money. Anything else?
You don't have to really think about it, it's ready.
Yeah, definitely. So it allows you to prepare your meals in a quick, very convenient way. And it also helps you to stick to eating healthy, balanced meals, which is really the beauty of it, because you already have some things prepared, you put them together, and when you have everything prepared and it's delicious food that you're excited to eat, you don't find yourself, grabbing that candy bar and, the potato chips, because you just want something quick and you don't want to sit in the kitchen, for hours. Some other things, like I said, unlike meal prepping, batch cooking provides you with a lot more variety and creativity with your meals. So you don't, you get the benefit of eating nutritionally, but also you'll enjoy eating delicious meals, which this is imperative, okay? You don't enjoy what you're eating and it doesn't uplift you from the inside out, it's not nourishing you, and you won't feel satisfied, okay? I repeat, because it's very, very important that you understand this, okay? If you don't enjoy what you're eating and it doesn't uplift you from the inside out, it's not nourishing, and it won't, it's not nourishing you, and you won't feel satisfied. Okay, so just let that sink in. Okay, so who here has gone through periods in your life where you didn't enjoy what you were eating? Give me a raise your hand. Okay, I think most people have gone through those periods. And how did that make you feel?
Sick.
Yeah.
Like you wanted more. You kept looking for more things to satisfy what wasn't getting satisfied.
Exactly. And that's the beauty. So, like I said, with the batch cooking, you're having all this variety of things and you're putting them together and you're actively doing this. And so as you're actively doing this, you're kind of figuring out what your taste buds are wanting, and then you don't start grabbing for those things, that, maybe they feel good in the moment, and then afterwards you feel yucky. So yeah, that's a nice thing. So, so also, if you take one thing away from this workshop today, let it be that realization, realizing that this is something that I help my clients to understand, and this is a concept that I'm developing, for my restaurant in my wellness retreat center that is in the future plans. So yeah, just really making sure that, like I said, you're enjoying what you're eating, that you're having this relationship, very important. And so this is a concept, like I said, I'm developing for my restaurant. We'll go back to that later. Anyways, so we talked about saving time and supporting healthy habits and allowing for creativity and variety when you're cooking. Batch cooking, like we said, is also very cost effective because you can also purchase your food in bulk, and also you can maximize when certain items go on sale. Sometimes you buy something, maybe, I don't want to buy too much because it's going to go bad. Well, you're going to cook in batches. And when you cook, sometimes you can freeze stuff and then bring it out for later. So that's the beauty of it. And it also saves you time in the grocery store. Yeah, because nobody really wants to spend hours in the grocery store. But basically, because you kind of already have an idea of like what kind of foods that you want to prepare. Like for me, I would like to have broccoli and cauliflower, my beans. So then I, just whip through the grocery store, grab the things that you want, and whip right out and enjoy the rest of your day. And lastly, you have very little to no food waste because you're constantly recycling your food to create new meals. Okay, so how does that all sound to you guys? Very
Good.
Yeah, sound excited. Has anyone done batch cooking or experienced it at all? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So good. I'm glad you guys are gonna bring something new. Like I've been doing this for a long time, and it's funny because teaching yoga for so many years, sometimes I'd come home at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and you're just so tired, and and then having to cook your food and stuff like that, or just end up eating out. And then once I just kind of started doing it, it's like, why didn't I do this before? And it's just so much easier because still coming home ravished, and it's like, oh, I've got this, and just throw it together, and it's like, I've got a great meal. And it's to the point where I really don't crave eating out because I know I have this great food at home that fills me up from the inside out. Home cooking is totally different than eating out, because the thing is, when you cook at home, there's an ingredient that you don't get when you eat out. We call it L, it's love, and it's a very good ingredient to include in your food. Okay, so how does bulk cooking work exactly? Well, if you have a look at the handouts that I gave you, there's a nutritional plate with guidelines, so it's a plate there. Some of you who did my last workshop, you probably got that before. Yeah, I think it's that third page. So you can see that it's split. The plate is split into sections. So you have a section for vegetables, you have a section for proteins, you have a section for carbs, and there's also a little side portion for fats. So when you cook in bulk, you will need to have an idea and plan what veggies you want to have on hand, what kind of protein, and what kind of carbs. Then you look for a couple of different protein sources. So anybody want to share one of your favorite proteins? Fish, yeah, I like fish. I'm a pescatarian. Anybody else?
I eat tons of beans.
You eat tons of beans? Me too.
Beans.
Which beans?
I'm a plant-based diet. That's
Okay.
what I eat, so all kinds of beans.
Okay, do you have a favorite kind of bean?
Garbanzo.
Garbanzo, okay. I like azuki. You have a favorite kind of fish diet?
Cod, sea bass, like Chilean sea bass, salmon.
Very nice, very good. And anybody else have any proteins their
I
favorite?
would just add shrimp to everything she said.
I remember your salad, you put the shrimp in there, yeah. And there's a lot of good things you can do, there's a lot of amazing things you can do, with fish, you can just have the fish there, or you can make fish tacos, or you can put it on a salad. With the beans, you can make wraps. You can, do the sweet potato and put the beans in there. You know, you can mash them, and there's so many different things you can create. So once you have that staple there, like I said, that allows you to really, you know, work with it and do different things. Let me see, so what else do we have? So we have the proteins, okay? So yeah, we talked about fish, and when it comes to fish, I do recommend getting wild caught. You know, it's different when it's the farm raised, you know, it's basically anything, you know, anytime something is just grown together just to be eaten, they don't have the same type of life, and it's just, you know, the nutrients are different. They're not getting the nutrients that occurs naturally, you know, on this earth. So it's gonna process differently into your body. So as much as you can, get wild caught. You know, we didn't talk about eggs, you know, if anyone likes eggs. Again, stick to free range, or better yet, if you can find pasteurized. This is something that I just learned about. So when you do get eggs, if you crack it open, you'll notice the yolk. If the yolk, or even if you don't crack it open, if you've boiled it, if the yolk is very pale, that means it doesn't have that much nutrients. If the yolk is very dark, that means it has lots of nutrients. So you'll notice a difference, like if you go and get pasteurized, or if you go straight to the farmer and you get the eggs, they're gonna have a different yolk color, and that they're getting nutrients because they're real free range. Free range has a very broad, definition. Basically, if they have any exposure to outdoor, that is free range. It doesn't mean that it's a lot. It doesn't mean that they're actually running around. So, like I said, they're not actually eating, you know, the fresh grass or whatever it is, you know, the chickens decide to eat. So that's why the yolk has a different color, because it's not taking in the nutrients from the foods that they really, you know, naturally want to bring into their body. So paying attention to that. You know, also meat, again, recommend organic meat, free range, or grass-fed if you do eat, you know, beef, things like that. And we talk about, you know, the legumes. There's different kinds, you know, there's chickpea, there's azuki, there's mung beans, there's lentils, there's tofu, so many different types of legumes. So if you've never tried, you know, when you go into the store, you know, I recommend just, okay, this is something new. Like my friend Laos came to visit, and he gave me some mung beans, and he was like, you know, I never thought of this. He just eats tofu all the time, and he's a vegan. So yeah, I'm very happy to give him something else to eat. And make sure that you cook enough, so basically you can prepare, you know, 3 to 4 different meals. Again, because, you know, you want to be able to, you know, not have to keep going back into the kitchen and cooking. So you just cook a big bulk, and then, you know, just store it in the fridge. And then you've got it there to prepare your wraps, you've got it there to prepare a breakfast scramble, whatever it is you just choose to decide. Then you do the same for your carbs, okay? And let's see, so what are some of your favorite carbs or starches that are not snack foods? You know, things that can be used in meals. Anybody?
I like sweet.
You like sweet? I am too. I am a sweet potato fan. Yeah. Yeah.
Rice.
Rice? Yeah.
I like bread.
Rice is a good
Bread.
staple. Bread, yeah.
Bread.
I know Kim likes bread, yeah.
Yeah.
I like bread, you know.
Yeah.
You know, there's good bread and there's bad, you know, well, not bad bread, but there's different qualities, like all kinds. Sweet potatoes are very good because they're in the ground, they're very grounding, and so that's something I learned. You know, food has an effect on you. So if you're feeling like anxious, if you're feeling nervous, you know, really having those root vegetables does help to calm your nerves. So that's when I started, you know, incorporating sweet potatoes. So many different things you can do with sweet potatoes. You know, from making pizza crust to gnocchi to making, you know, muffins, because they're sweet, and you know, there's so many different varieties you can use, or so many different ways you can use them. When it comes to bread, personally, I recommend, you know, getting bread from the bakery. Sliced bread is always going to have things added to it, you know, to preserve it, the freshness. Whereas if you go to the bakery, you know, it only lasts for so long. So that's a better way. Then you can just freeze it, and then you know, you can preserve it for as long as you want. So bread is not bad. You know, there's just different quality. So whole wheat, sourdough, you know, things like that.
And the cauliflower bread.
Yeah, yeah, you can freeze it. So like I go to the bakery and I ask them to slice it, and then, you know, you can keep some in the fridge if you want, and then put some in the freezer, or just put it all in the freezer, and then you just toast it or put it in the oven, you know, warm it up however way you want. Yeah. So, yeah. And let's see. And then Yeah, so let me just tell you a little bit about, so we talked about the rice. So for example, if you were to, cook the rice, you would cook about 3/4 to 1 cup of uncooked rice. And basically, once you cook it, that becomes 3 times the amount. So if you put basically like the 3/4 to 1 cup, that would make 4 cups uncooked rice that you can just store in the fridge and have it for, again, different types of meal. Roasting a couple sweet potatoes, or preparing like half a cup of quinoa, and again, that's gonna yield 2 cups cooked. And you have it there in your handout, how to cook quinoa, because last time somebody told me that they burned their quinoa, so I made sure this time to include in the handout how to prepare quinoa, how to prepare, I think, the lentils and stuff like that, so you know how to do that.
I learned that the hard way, so I went and bought an instant pot, so I know it's 1 minute.
Okay, yeah, that's a great way, yeah, and I told them you can prepare it in the rice cooker, but apparently that just went wrong. So, yeah, so like I said, basically dried grains will be about 4 times the amount uncooked once you cook them. And then for your vegetables, a nice way to have a variety of vegetables is to just take like a sheet pan, and then you can just roast various vegetables, like 4 different vegetables if you want, like cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, which we'll have some later, beets, asparagus, carrot, and zucchini. Yeah, so you just take the whole thing. There's also a recipe in there for the mixed roast vegetables, so you can see. And for me, I just put things, and I just put like salt and olive oil. That one is a little like sweet one with maple syrup, but not too much. So it's delicious. So that's a different variety. Again, try different ways, know what your palate is, which works. And something that I personally like to do is I like to purchase a whole head of broccoli, a whole head of cauliflower, because I really love those. And then I just season them with some extra virgin olive oil, and then put, Mrs. Dash, or we have this seasoning that you get from Costco. It's just organic, no salt seasoning. Mrs. Dash and that are the same thing pretty much. So you can put that, and then just some pink salt, and then I just put it into the, I don't have it here, I brought it, the air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer, you can just stick it in the oven, that's fine. But also you can get an air fryer for very cheap.
Okay, you said fresh, is it okay frozen broccoli, frozen vegetables?
Yeah, you can buy, and I was just about to get to that, yeah.
But you're talking about the whole head, like you don't break it down, you just put the whole.
Oh, no, I buy the whole head.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I should explain that. No, I'm just saying, like, I buy that much. Like, I buy 1 head of broccoli, 1 head of cauliflower, cut it up, and I didn't get to that part. Or you can buy it pre-cut.
Okay.
They also have bags pre-cut, and just season. But basically, like I said, it's that much that I cook at one time. So it's just there because me personally, I love vegetables, and I'm gonna use them, throughout the day. I really try to incorporate vegetables in all of my meals. So like making a Buddha bowl, or making fried rice, or again making a wrap. A Buddha bowl. You don't know Buddha bowl? Buddha, yeah. There's a book, I think.
Yeah, there was a book somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe they sold out, but anyways, we'll talk about them later. So yeah, that's personally what I like to do. And then I also always like to have beets. Beets are really good for your liver. At first I never liked beets, because I always was introduced to pickled beets. And then once I saw the fresh beets, and I was living in India, I was like, oh, I never saw fresh beets. And then my friend showed me how to cook them. Very, very easy. I just take like 2 beets, I cook them into wedges, or cut them into wedges, boil them, that's it, with the skin and everything, and then the skin just comes off. Again, you can do that in the oven, like I said, you can do that with a whole roast like that. You can even put a whole beet into the oven like that, and just cook it, again, the skin will just come off. So just know what vegetables you like, and work with those. Also, if I am roasting things, like I said, I've been doing like the whole vegetables, the oven's already on, just maximize the fact the oven's on. Okay, I also like onions, so a lot of times I like to take like the whole onion, again, cut it into wedges, stick it in there, take a whole garlic, stick it in there, and then, yeah, garlic in the oven tastes amazing. So does onion, the yellow onion's the one that gets really sweet when you roast it like that. and then you've got that to use in different types of dishes too. So like I said, I love my vegetables, and it's recommended that you eat about 5 vegetables a day, so that's why I said the whole head of broccoli, the whole head of cauliflower. So yeah, just keeping in mind, you know, you wanna have lots of veggies. So like I said, I recommend cooking about 4 different veggies. Something you can do, you can purchase baby carrots. You know, baby carrots are very easy, you know, cutting, you know, very simple. You can snack on them. Believe it or not, carrots are sweet. So if you're feeling a sweet craving, baby carrots are a really good thing to grab. You can get some hummus and dip in hummus. That's a great snack. I like to always have mixed greens. Mixed greens are very versatile. You can use them for a variety of different dishes. You don't have to cook them. Organic spinach. Notice I said organic. Spinach has a lot of, you know, pesticides and herbicides. It is, from the last time if you were with me, on the Dirty Dozen, so I always recommend getting your spinach organic. If not all your vegetables, but at least the spinach. And spinach you can stir fry it, you can just throw it in your morning smoothie without even cooking it, make a salad, on your hamburger, whatever you choose to do. And yeah, so basically having some vegetables that are raw for you and then cooking some vegetables. Yeah, and like I said, you can also put them in an omelet. Veggies like tomatoes or sweet tomatoes or cherry tomatoes. You don't have to cook cut cherry tomatoes. Those are very easy too. Bell peppers, mushrooms. Again, those can be cooked or those can be eaten raw. So those are very good to have on hand. And also, like I said, you can purchase frozen vegetables. Nothing wrong with frozen vegetables. They stay in the freezer for a pretty good long time. So that's an advantage. Most of the time when fruits or vegetables are frozen, they're fresh frozen. So they're picked at their peak time and then they're just frozen right away. So they maintain their freshness and the nutrients. So nothing wrong with frozen, okay? So does anybody have any favorite frozen veggies?
Yeah, it's broccoli.
I like the string beans.
You like string beans?
Like from Costco and Sam's. They're
Oh, okay.
the ones with the peas inside them. Or from Good Ours.
Costco also sells this big bag of stir-fried vegetables.
That's a
Yeah.
nice one too, yeah.
That's very convenient, because now you've got mixed veggies, again, that you can use in different variety of ways. Yeah, so things like that.
Edamame,
What's that?
edamame.
Yeah, good for you. No one mentioned edamame, peas, corn, yeah, and the mixed veggies, yeah. And, you know, you can cook those ahead of time, or, I mean, it takes about 10 minutes to boil, stir fry very, very easily, you know, take the wok out, and make a whole nice meal, so yes. All right, so now yeah.
What about turnips?
Turnips, yeah. Yeah, you can, like I said, you could do those with that sheet pan and just stick them in the oven. That's a really great way to cook them. I think usually, yeah.
Cause I saw some fried, like French fries before.
Ah.
I bought some yesterday. Yeah, cause I only give my grandson.
Well, if you, I mean, yeah, so
I
you.
mean, I like turnips anyway, but I've never had them fried before, so.
Okay, yeah, do you
With
have,
olive oil.
yeah, and if you have an air fryer, like,
Yeah.
so then you can do it in an air fryer. Me personally, it's really weird, I'm not so much of a root vegetable person, but I do love my sweet potatoes and I do love beans. But like some of those things, you know, but I'm sure I'd like the French fries, so.
Just a question, going back to the corn, so you're good with corn. I know there's like a lot of mixed things we said about eating corn. But-
How does your body respond? You know, you have to pay
Yeah.
attention. I mean, me personally, I don't eat a lot of corn, not because of what they say, it's just something I don't naturally gravitate towards. But sometimes when it's there, I do enjoy it. So, I mean, it's hard because that's the thing, and that's what that's what I do with health coaching. You're always gonna have things from outside, and we constantly listen to outside, but at the end of the day, we have to learn how to tune in, because nobody lives in our body. We have so many different things that influence, you know, how we interact with food, how we digest food, how we absorb food. You know, it depends on our activity level, it depends on, you know, emotionally, and that's gonna change day to day. It depends on our ancestry, it depends on where we're born, you know. It, you know, depends on, you know, if we're very active that day, if we're sitting around that day, there's so many different factors. So again, like once you start, you know, getting into the kitchen, and like I said, this is a very good way, you know, to incorporate creativity into the way you prepare your foods. You're gonna have a different relationship and understanding with yourself and how the food, you know, is processed into your body. So you just have to see how you feel.
You mind if I iterate on that?
Nope.
Okay. Corn is really not, good for you, but I'm gonna help you too.
Okay.
It doesn't really digest it stays in your gallbladder. So that's the only reason why I would personally say not to eat corn, because corn does not digest through our system.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, corn, I mean, that's the only, cause I don't eat corn because of that purpose. You know, I mean, it tastes good,
yeah.
and it's
Uh-huh.
edible, but it's not good for your gallbladder.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of foods also that don't digest, but I mean,
Yeah.
also when the foods don't digest, they also a lot of times do help us to pull things out too, yeah. So, like I said, I mean, that's my recommendation, you know, and yeah, you have to just go with how you feel. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, personally, I don't eat it a lot, but I eat it sometimes. I mean, in Mexico, that's where I've been living, they eat it all the time. But, you know, that's part of their ancestry, so it's different. Okay, so now moving on, anybody else have anything else to add? Okay.
This one.
Yeah.
I tried roasted cabbage once, and it's probably my favorite way to have cabbage.
Yeah.
That's really
So
good.
good.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
you don't like cabbage, it doesn't taste like cabbage at all.
Yes, yes. My mom, I just went to go stay with my parents and she roasted a whole cabbage. Like she just took the whole head and put it into the oven. And I was, oh my God, this is delicious. And she knows how much I love vegetables. So I think within like 2 nights I finished that. Yeah.
What did she put on it?
Just olive oil and salt.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
pretty much like the cauliflower. You know, cauliflower is pretty boring, you know, when it's raw. It doesn't have that much, you know, it's not that interesting. Broccoli tends to be. But once you put it into an oven or into an air fryer, you'll notice the color becomes golden, and the same thing with the cabbage. It's like these juices come through, and then it kind of sweetens it up, and it's totally different.
How do you season it, like just sprinkle it?
Uh-huh.
You can also slice it like into steaks and make cauliflower or cabbage steaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long you leave it in the oven?
Yeah, what's the
Or can you put it
temperature?
in an air fryer?
You can put in air fryer. You know, everyone's oven's a little bit different. So, you know, I would say, you know, always start with about 15 minutes and then go from there. Some people's oven's very efficient, some people's oven's not. It depends on how old it is, depends on how clean it is. So, you know, you just kind of, and then once you know, then you know. So that's a good way. Start with 15 minutes if it's something brand new, and then go from there. You can also do on the stove top too. You can cut it, and then just put the lid over it again with the oil and just let it simmer. I used to put turmeric too. So
Mhm.
yeah, and it becomes very soft and very digestible. You know, like cauliflower. Again, these are hard and it feels gross, but once you cook it, it becomes soft and it's a lot more pleasant and very delicious. All right, so going on to fruits. Yes. Okay, so yeah, so also fruits. Fruits are also a carb. So you want to have, you know, some fruits there. Again, you can utilize them for snacks. You can utilize them in your meals. So personally, I always like to have a bag of organic mixed berries in my freezer. Yeah, I like to throw them in smoothies. And I prefer frozen because it's cheaper and they last longer, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have lots of berries, you store them in the fridge, they don't last, you know, as well. But if you do, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And blueberries especially are very good for your brain health, so every day is very important to, you know.
How many?
How many? Just a handful. Just a handful. Yeah, you don't have to like eat a bag.
Unless you really want it.
If you really, really want to up your brain health, you know, a handful of blueberries and a handful of walnuts. Walnuts look like a brain. There you go. So, yeah, very good, very important. I've been telling my mom, you gotta eat walnuts and blueberries every single day. So, yeah, so that's what I always like to do. So also when they're frozen, you know, you put them in the smoothie, it makes it a lot thicker, and I like that because then it feels like a meal. If it's really watery, it's like, okay, I'm just drinking something, but I haven't had my meal. And you can also use them to make an ice cream. If you don't know what an ice cream is, you've got a recipe there. Okay, if you're here for my last workshop, you know what an ice cream is. So some fruits, you know, to think about, like apples. Apples can be eaten as a snack, and you can, you know, add to your favorite nut butter. It's a great snack. You can also slice them up and add them to a salad, or you can also put them in your oatmeal. Mangoes are also a really nice fruit to have. I like eating them when I need a sweet treat because yes, they're sweet. I like the yellow ones. That's what we have in Mexico. We don't have the green ones. Send the green ones to the United States and keep the yellow ones for us. But you can find the yellow ones here. And sometimes if I like a little dessert, I'll take the the mango, the yellow one, and some tahini and some salt. And it's just a really nice, quick little dessert to have. If you don't like tahini, then you do something else. Tahini is sesame seeds it's like a butter of sesame seeds. So, you know, we have nut butter, tahini is like sesame butter, basically.
Is that in it?
How
do you spell that?
Tahini? Oh yeah, it is in there, it's on your shopping list. Tahini.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you'll find it in your
I-
peanut butters at the store.
No,
Sometimes, I think,
well, again, I haven't gone shopping here. I know in HEB, because we have in Monterrey. It's usually with the Asian food. So it probably will be the health food. You know, that's probably will be the health section. Or if you go to like one of the Mediterranean stores, it'll probably be cheaper if you buy it there. Costco, I have no idea what section it is, but I'm sure it's vegan.
I don't think they don't have tahini there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've
Oh.
looked, they don't have
Maybe
it.
Sam's? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know my friends bought it. Okay. And, I was gonna tell a story, yes. So this is the beauty about, you know, like I said, about batch cooking. So during the lockdown, obviously we're all stayed at home, cooking a lot and stuff like that. So this is basically where I started really doing the batch cooking. And I had just been introduced to black rice. So I had my black rice and I had some oranges. I don't really eat oranges, I don't know why, but I just bought them one day because I was like, try something different. And I didn't want them to go bad. So I had the black rice, I looked at the oranges, I don't wanna throw them away. So I was like, okay, let me just add them to my black rice. Combination was amazing. My boyfriend at the time was like, oh my God, this is so good. So this is the beauty about, you know, batch cooking is you start to, you know, combine these different things and then you come up with, you know, things that, oh wow, you never thought of putting them together before. And then, like I said, you start to really understand your palate, you get to share it with other people, and it's a nice experience. So yeah, and let's see. So yeah, you have all this prepared. So basically when you're cooking, you know, you have all this prepared food, it's not assembled yet, but you know, allow yourself to try different combinations. And yeah, like I said, this will really help you to get an understanding of your unique palate, and you will start having a different relationship with food. That's very important too, okay? I want you to note down, you know, relationship. We are creating a positive interaction with food that fosters understanding and trust. Food is not a punishment. You shouldn't eat when you're angry. It's something that you appreciate because that's what you do in a relationship. Okay, you appreciate and you give thanks for what you have. Right? Does that make sense? So yeah, so this is really why I'm so excited to, you know, be doing this workshop and sharing this with you, because like I said, this is what it will start to create. And it's a very beautiful experience. And like I said, to be in that space, but to also share it with other people, with your friends, with your family, and of course with you guys today. So does anyone have any questions or comments or insights that they want to share so far?
So your grocery list, is this, cause I see some things are organic and some are not. Cause there's some on your list here that I buy only organic. Because you mentioned the dirty list and the clean list, so I go by that. So I was wondering, are all of these you know, that you recommend organic and there's some that you missed out or?
Well, it's all, like, as much as you can go organic, but the things that I put organic are non-negotiable, like, you want to make sure you get those.
So what about in the beans? Yeah, are those something that you can get non-organic?
Yeah, I mean, there's of course, you know, non-organic beans, and they're not on the dirty dozen list,
Right.
because, you know, most people don't, not a lot of people are grabbing, usually things that are on the dirty dozen list are things that people eat a lot of, and so they're trying to produce those, you know, in mass production. So not a lot of people are eating beans, so they're pretty safe, but again, I mean, if you can get them organic, great. And if you do like beans, a really good place I like to get beans from is Natural Grocers. They have a really good selection of different types of beans, and they're usually always organic, and they're packaged very well, so I like to get beans from there. I mean, Costco's also very good. So yeah.
Are we gonna talk about sweeteners?
Yeah, the sweeteners are actually there, at the back. I think it's the very last.
Yeah, I have a question. One thing that I don't see on the list is agave. What do you feel about agave?
Agave is excellent. I actually have it here, and I'm gonna use it in the demonstration. I think it's there. You, like I said, look at the very last page. It doesn't have it on that.
It's the third from the back.
Yeah, the third from the back, that page, not the grocery list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So agave is great because it doesn't raise your insulin levels like, you know, regular table sugar. Is even better than honey. So yeah, agave is very good. It's also very easy to use. Honey, I love. Honey is great. It tastes delicious, but it's a lot easier to work with agave. And you never want to heat honey, ever.
You never want to
Heat honey, ever. Don't put it in the oven. Don't even put it in hot drinks.
Oh, not in my tea. Really?
No,
Why?
because it changes the you know, proteins break down once they heat. It breaks down the proteins, and then it becomes a little bit different, and so again, once it goes into your system, it doesn't really digest the same way. So that's a Ayurvedic thing I learned a long time ago. You don't want to heat honey. Honey is great, but honey needs to be, you know, room temperature, you know, cold, not heated.
So is it like a spoonful of it?
Yeah, or like I said, you can put it, you know, I mean, if you're gonna make something and, you know, like I said, you're not putting it in the oven, you know, to put it on top, that's okay, that's fine. Just don't put it into, you know, your hot drinks, or don't put it into the oven. So your alternative, you know, for something would be, yeah, the agave or the maple syrup.
Where does agave comes from? Or is that a fruit? What is it?
It comes from a plant, it comes from a cactus.
Oh, cactus, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what can we put honey like on my oatmeal? Like I
Mhm.
cook it? Is it okay to?
Yeah, you're not cooking it, that's fine. That's
Okay,
fine, you're not.
just don't cook it like you're supposed to.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and don't put it, like I said, into like a hot drink, because it's gonna, you know, break down, you know, I mean, even you can take hot soup, and if you take an egg, it's gonna cook the egg, so.
Right.
Right,
The
yeah.
honey will still,
Okay.
but yeah, the honey on top of the oatmeal is fine.
Okay, awesome.
So you said it breaks down the protein?
So the proteins, I forgot the scientific term, they, it's like something with a D, not disassociate. But yeah, so like when you,
Decomposition, is that what you're trying to do?
no, it's something else, but you know, yeah, they, denature, the proteins denature. And then, like I said, once they become denatured proteins, then it has a different constitution for your body, you know, to digest. So yeah, you don't want to denature honey proteins.
Okay.
What do you feel about popcorn?
I think popcorn's a great snack. Yeah, I mean, it's a great snack. I was talking about popcorn the other day. If you're gonna do popcorn, I mean, look, of course, at the ingredients, you know, if you are buying it, or if you can make it yourself, that's great, you know, and then you can just put whatever, you know, you want. I think there's also something there about popcorn, on the snacks, there's recommended snacks, and I don't know if it says, a friend a long time ago, she showed me to put amino acids and curry powder on the popcorn, and then for
Oh.
months, that was like the only way I could eat it. And then, yes, in Mexico, of course, like, you know, we like to put the, lemon, or lime, and like some chili pepper or sriracha or something like that. They like to do it. Yeah, whatever you enjoy doing.
So you said amino acid and what?
And curry powder.
And curry powder.
Yeah, and of course, the amino acids already has salt. So yeah.
Like the coconut aminos?
You can
like
use
that type
coconut
of thing?
aminos, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the curry powder is really good. So like I said, for months it was like, okay, that's the only way to eat popcorn. So yeah, and then I see in the stores like, you know, there's a popcorn that has the pink salt and the coconut oil. So if you are not able to cook it at home, you know, that would be a good alternative. But just always look at the side, especially there's some of the ones that are the microwavable ones. They have hydrogenated oils, and those are trans fats. You avoid trans fats. Like, do not go there. Do not go there, because those are the fats that, you know, stick in your body. So you just don't want those. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so we talked about, you know, like I said, we talked about starches. So you also have them, like I said, on your sheet. Oh, yeah, we talked about, where am I? Sorry, I'm trying to go back. Okay, I'm flipping my paper. All right, so let me go back to about fats. Okay, so fats are important. It is there, usually on your sheet. But you know, we're talking about healthy fats. So anybody have any idea of what are some healthy fats that we should be consuming? Nuts. What's that? Olive oil. Nuts. Avocados.
I use peanut butter.
Yeah.
Or cashew or nuts.
Yeah, any kind of nut butter or nuts, avocado oil, coconut oil, sesame oil, you know, those kind of oils. I really encourage you to stay away from canola oil, vegetable oil, soybean oil, and like I said, anything that's hydrogenated. These kind of vegetable type oils, they're usually rancid. So, you know, you don't want them rancid, you know. Yeah, and also, again, when you go out to eat, I ask them, you know, can you cook my food in butter? If I can. If you don't have butter, you know, you can ask them, you know, if you have coconut oil or just not use oil. And then, like I said, the hydrogenated oils contain trans fats, which, you know, like I said, the body's not able to get rid of, so just avoid those. We also have butter. Again, if you want better to get organic, if you can. Ghee, if anyone knows what ghee is, which is, yeah, it's clarified butter. And it's very popular in India. It's very, very good for your gut. Very, very good. And if you never try it, next time you see in the grocery store, say, okay, I remember they talked about ghee, I'm gonna give it a try. You just use it like natural oil. You know, if it's already hard when you buy it, you know, just like coconut oil, if you put it on the pan, it becomes soft. And it has a very good taste, actually. And it's very easy to make if you like doing stuff from scratch, like I do. You just buy a few sticks of butter, 15 minutes, and it's cooked. I'm not gonna go into much detail, but if you just, you know, Google it, it'll explain how to do it very easy. Like I said, avocados, nuts, and also seeds. Seeds are also a source of fat and really good energy. Sesame seeds, flax seeds, pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds. Sunflower seeds, I like to get the ones, you know, without the shell, so you can use those in salads and sometimes on top of soups. We talked about tahini as well. So those are good staples to, you know, to have on hand in your kitchen. With nuts, beans, seeds, and rice, I recommend that you store those in glass and airtight jars. That way they maintain their freshness. And a lot of times, like, you know, I like to recycle, so, you know, if you have whatever, like a pickle jar, just clean it out and you've got to use for your beans, nuts, rice, and seeds. With nuts, you know, if you're not gonna eat the, like if you have a big bag of nuts and you know you're not gonna, you know, finish that, you know, in the next month or so, put it in the fridge. That way, you know, it stays fresh, it doesn't go rancid. Nuts can go rancid and you won't taste it if they go rancid.
What is that, you said the seeds? Put them in the refrigerator?
The nuts.
Oh, the nuts.
Yeah.
What's rancid?
Rancid is,
Spoiled.
yeah.
A nut can spoil?
Yeah.
But if we keep it in the refrigerator, like in the mason jar, it'll be okay?
Yeah, or even if you keep it in the bag, it's fine, yeah, you can stick it, yeah. 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 Yeah, you won't really taste, like I said, the same thing with the oils, you won't necessarily taste that they're rancid, but they are. So, and you won't believe, even though you're buying it fresh from the store, it's not really fresh.
How long does it typically take before it goes rancid, if you're just leaving it in the pantry?
Maybe, like I said, I wouldn't leave it more than a month. So, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And our oils as well, like before,
No, those are fine.
oh, okay.
Those are fine, yeah, it's just the nuts, yeah. I was just saying about the vegetable oil, the canola oil, those will go rancid.
Oh.
The coconut oil and stuff like that, they're fine, they're more stable, that's why, so, yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah. Alright, so any more questions? No, okay. Alright, so if you're new to cooking, I recommend that you look up some recipes for ideas of what to cook. Don't start with anything complicated, just keep it simple, and I have quite a few recipes there, and I also have some more up here because I got very excited about. So, after I finish talking, you can come up and look at them, and if you go, oh, Christina, I want these, make sure you give me your information, and I'll send them to you. So yeah, so make sure you have some recipes, to start off with. And before you visit the grocery store, you wanna make a list, of what it is that you wanna buy. Again, saving yourself time, but also saving yourself stress, having a plan, and that really, makes it foolproof. If you don't plan, you plan to fail, so make sure you plan. And also if you go to the grocery store hungry, you come back with way more than you anticipated. And
That must be me not planning, cause I'm failing.
Well, and the thing is too, is that, again, once you get used to this, like I said, you'll kind of have an idea. And I included, like I said, a sample grocery list. And then another nice thing to do, again, because we're fostering creativity, this relationship, this good energy and positivity, once you start going to the grocery store and get, try to get something new each time. Like, okay, you said, I never tried tahini. Okay, let me purchase this and see how, how my body, reacts to it. Or like I said, I bought oranges and not really a fan of oranges, and I found out, it goes really good with black rice, and things like that. So yeah, just allowing yourself to experiment, making it more enjoyable, not so boring.
Did you cook it in the orange juice in the black rice? How did you do that? That sounds good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I did. I think, like I had the rice already cooked, so I always have it, already cooked, and then I reheat it. I don't like to use a microwave, so I reheat it on the stove. I add a little bit more water, and that's when I put the onion, the oranges in there. So I guess the juice is kind of just like went into there, but I didn't squeeze it. I cut them into little like, not wedges, little triangles. Yeah, and I stuck it in there. Tasted really good. So yeah, so like I said, just like now it's like black rice. Okay, gotta put oranges. That's just the way it goes for me. And black rice is really good. I never knew that it was that tasty. Okay, so let's see. So yeah, like when you buy your proteins, remember you've got to consider what your proteins for breakfast, proteins for lunch, proteins for dinner, proteins for snack. Don't just go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of fish, and then when it comes for breakfast time, it's like, okay, what do I eat? So think of like I said, the free range eggs, rotisserie chicken, whole organic chicken if you want, and you can just roast the whole thing with some rosemary, very delicious. I don't eat chicken, but I've done that for friends. They enjoyed it. I think I talked about, let's see. Yeah, and with that chicken, like I said, if you do that, you can use it for a lot of different things. Soup, salads, rice, just eat the breast, fish, tofu, tempeh. If you never tried tempeh, try tempeh. Seitan, if you never tried seitan, try seitan. Beans, cheese, again, if you can get really good quality cheese, it's not, not bad. Just get the good quality stuff, and plain Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is a very good thing to have. You can use it in a lot of variety of different ways. You can use it replacement. Vegans, you can just get, coconut yogurt. And then, like I said, that's a lot of times something you can exchange for, you know, other things and recipes. And, also think about, you know, when you go to the store, what are your favorite vegetables? You know, a lot of people talked about broccoli, so you definitely want some broccoli. Talked about all the other types of vegetables. We didn't talk about zucchini, you know, asparagus, a lot of different things. What fruits do you want? And I like to have my bananas like frozen because they keep longer. I don't eat them that much, but I can put them in ice cream or my smoothies, and sometimes I just eat it. I don't know, it tastes good like that. So that's the way I like to do it. And yeah, remember, like, your vegetables and your fruits will be included in your meals, but also incorporated into your snacks. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you go shopping, making your list. And, you know, think about what starches. We talked about starches, sweet potatoes, quinoa. You never tried quinoa?
Yes.
Try quinoa, yeah. Very versatile, very easy to use. You can use them in wraps. You can use them as breakfast even. You know, if you like dried fruits, you can do it with dried fruits. Brown rice, again, is very versatile. Gouda bowl, very easy to make. Wrap, very easy to make. Fried rice, even sometimes in salads. Like I said, bakery, fresh whole wheat bread or sourdough bread. Wraps, I like to get I like the Ezekiel wraps, those are really good. And you can use those for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever. And steel cut oats or regular oats, which we're gonna have a sample of those today. And then, like I said about fats. What's that?
Where did you get your Ezekiel wraps from? I eat Ezekiel bread, but I haven't seen Ezekiel wraps before.
Did you get that at Costco?
I got that at
Sprout.
Sprouts or Whole Foods. They both carry them.
And they probably have them at natural grocers too.
Okay.
Costco has a wrap that's uncooked in their refrigerator section that you can buy, and then you cook it, and so it's fresh that you can make instead of making the batter in the wrap. You just cook it as you need it. They have that option.
And I think they also have like cauliflower wraps too.
I've seen those, but I think there's egg in them, so
Okay.
yeah, if you're not vegan, you can have those too.
Cause they're making, you know, cauliflower everything.
Yeah, they make like cauliflower, like little bread type slices, but those have eggs, so you know.
Just, you know, whenever, just always look at the ingredients. If there's stuff that you don't know what it is, your body doesn't know what it is either, so just stay away from that. Like, even I was buying face wipes the other day, and there was tons, and I looked at the one, and I was like, okay, there's only 4 ingredients, that's the one I'm buying.
Yeah.
So that's usually a good way to measure things. And then also think about what condiments you want. You know, I always like to have apple cider vinegar. You can use that a lot, or balsamic vinegar if you like balsamic. Like I said, Mrs. Dash, or the organic, you know, no salt seasoning from Costco. Himalayan pink salt, or just regular sea salt. I like the pink better because it has a lot of trace minerals and it's less sodium. Ground black pepper, dill, it can be fresh or it can be just, you know, the dried. Smoked paprika, we never tried smoked paprika. Game changer, very delicious. Again, you can put it on your popcorn. Fresh cilantro, you can put it in your salads, you can put it in your wraps. You can top it on your soups as well. If you don't want them to go bad, if you buy fresh herbs, and herbs again have more minerals than vegetables, what you can do is that you can, you know, clean them, you can cut them up, and then put them in ice cubes, not ice cubes, but put them in the ice cube tray, and then put water on them, and then store them like ice cubes. And then when you're ready to use them, yeah, you take them out, you know, and then just drop them in there, like in yeah.
Where you put in the ice cubes again, you said?
Oh, you put them in the ice cube
Yeah,
tray.
but where you put
Oh, the
them?
herbs.
Oh, the herbs.
So like if you buy fresh herbs, you like to use fresh herbs, but you don't, you know, you have a, you know, you didn't use all of it and you wanna preserve it, that's
Like
what.
cilantro and parsley and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, or a lot of times when you go to the store, like they have the whole plant there and it's like $4, and then to buy, you know, like 1 ounce is like $4. So, you know, you can just buy the plant, you know, so, and they're more happy, I think, indoors than, you know, they don't like direct sunlight, I know that much. So, yeah. Parsley, fresh parsley, amazing. so many benefits to fresh parsley, and it tastes very delicious. Fresh rosemary, like I said, you can put in the chicken, soups, it's very versatile too. Cinnamon, it's sweet. So again, if you have a sweet tooth, putting it on the sweet potatoes, putting it in your oatmeal, putting it in your smoothies. You know, there's so many different ways you can utilize it. Cardamom, also very delicious. A lot of different ways to use it. If you never tried it, try it. Ginger, limes or lemons, unsweetened plant milk if you are not so much dairy. Lots of different plant milks. And hummus also. You can make it or you can buy it, whatever. All right. Any questions?
I noticed here you were talking about the organic bananas. What would be the difference between organic and non-organic?
Well, because again, people eat bananas a lot. So bananas have a lot of pesticides and herbicides, so that's why you try to go organic. The price is pretty much the same, which is unbelievable. It's literally like 5 cents difference. So you might as well just get the organic ones and save yourself, having that bombardment. Because the thing is about herbicides and pesticides, they interact with your hormones. They play with your hormones. So you really want to avoid those as much as possible. So those are going to have very high amounts because people eat bananas a lot.
Bananas last longer if you leave them away from any other fruit and vegetable and break them apart. They'll last a little bit.
Oh, break them apart. Oh.
That's a good thing to know.
But then it just looks weird because you have like 6 bananas on your counter.
Yeah.
You know what? You can just like take a string and just like, it's Christmas. Christmas is coming along. This is my new Okay, well that's a good. I didn't know about that. I know how to make them go right, but I never heard that. Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, so now we're going to talk about cooking appliances. Firstly, who here is not a fan of cooking?
I'm not.
And I remember Sharon from last time. Yeah. So tell me, Sharon, what is it about cooking that you don't enjoy?
So as I explained that, it's just like the worst household chore. I look at it as a chore. And I think the part that I really don't like, I don't like the preparation, the cutting up, the watching it, and I just wanna put it in something, walk away, and come back and have a gourmet meal. That's what
Okay.
I don't wanna put the time and energy. I don't wanna put the time and energy. I just feel love, like I don't wanna do it myself. I want someone else to do it for me.
Okay. Are you married?
I'm not.
Okay, well, you know what? You gotta start. No, I'm joking. Don't worry. And Joe, what is it about cooking that you're not a fan of?
It's so stressful. At the end of my day, on top of everything else with work and kids and husband and cleaning house, and nobody likes to clean up afterwards. I hate putting food away. I don't know what it is. I just don't like to. If I cook it, I don't want to deal with it afterwards at all because I'm like spent.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But it's a lot of effort. It's just a lot of effort, and it's usually in a time crunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that is the beauty of kitchen appliances, is they offer a lot of convenience and they cut down your time in the kitchen. Uh-huh, yeah. There are some appliances that are easier to clean than others. And then also, getting your family members to participate. Be like, are you gonna eat the food? Well, if you're gonna eat it, you've gotta participate as well. So that's another thing as well. So who here has a favorite kitchen appliance?
Air fryer.
Air fryer.
What is it?
My Vitamix blender.
Your Vitamix, air fryer, Instapot.
Instant pot, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my grill.
Your grill.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about some kitchen appliances. So, most of us know about the oven, we know about the stove top, we know about toaster oven, rice cooker. Nobody mentioned pressure cooker.
Oh.
slow cooker, which, I know the Instapot does that. Thermomix, which Sharon, you'll probably be interested in. Blender, hand blender, we talked about air fryer, food processor, and food processor does a lot of the stuff that also like we call it a mandolin. I don't even know how to say it, but basically a mandolin will chop, slice, spiralize. Also the food processor does that too. So if you don't like cutting, that's very convenient. Both of them. One is, you can just do by hand. This one's electric. All the benefits of the different ones are there in your handouts too. So oven, it's great for roasting things like roasting chicken. It's really great for cooking, fish, whole fish or fillets. Like I said, roasting a whole pan of vegetables or potatoes. And that's something you just put in there, go take a shower, in 30 minutes or so, your stuff is done. You don't have to watch it. Know your oven, of course. Usually the baking, when you're baking something, the temperature is gonna be anywhere between 350 to 425. That's like your range for when you cook things. It's very standard. Stovetop, this can be used for boiling, for steaming, cooking oatmeal, rice, quinoa or beans, boiling eggs, stir frying vegetables, small cuts of meats or fish. But this does a lot of times require you to actually be there, but sometimes you can, put it on simmer and then walk away. But don't walk away for too long. Probably don't take the shower. But you can go maybe, I don't know, check your phone or your email or something like that, write a text. I do recommend that when you do use pots and pans, using cast iron, ceramic, or stainless steel pots and pans. Avoid using Teflon. Teflon contains a carcinogen called PFOA, and if you want to know more information about that, Google it. I'm not going to go into it, but basically, just stay away from Teflon, the coated stuff. All right, so air fryers. Air fryers are very popular these days and a very handy tool to have in your kitchen. I highly recommend them. They're very inexpensive. You can purchase one from Costco for like $40. You can purchase it from Walmart. You can order it from Amazon. And you can cook everything in an air fryer. They have settings for bake. They have settings for air fry, for boil, even reheating, someone like me that doesn't like to use a microwave, and dehydrating. And those are just the basic $40 one. There are ones that have more fancy settings, and they'll also have slow cooker and pressure cooker, which is very handy, if you do want to have that on hand. And you can again get those, I think you can get them at Walmart too. They probably have those at Costco. Whatever, I was gonna get one from, I forgot the store now. Anyways, a nice store. Anyways, but you can get them anywhere. Amazon. So the advantage of air fryers is there's less cleanup. Okay, that's one thing. Less cleanup. Maybe you don't even have to clean it the same day. Just take out the stuff and leave it for tomorrow, or have your family cook it or clean it. Very easy to use. Just turn it on, walk away. You don't have to use as much oil as you do on the stovetop or even on the oven. And they use less energy because they're smaller than an oven, and they cook your food much quicker. So that's the convenience about having air fryers. So, yes. For those people who don't like to be in the kitchen, it's a good thing to have. Like I said, you can cook anything from meats, fish, vegetables, baked goods, fries, and with the dehydrator, you can make things like sliced fruits. Instead of buying the apple slices that, have all the sulfur and sometimes sugar and all the, junk, you can make them at home. Or the mango slices, veggie chips, and I think, yes, in your recipe section, I have a link or a website for things you can cook with air fryers there. Lots of different recipes. All right, so slow cookers are amazing little devices too. You can prepare everything from casseroles, meats, soups, chili, enchiladas. You just throw all your ingredients into the pot, decide what setting, low, medium, high, depending on how long you want to wait for your food to be ready. And because you're slow cooking your food, the flavors are much richer, the food is much softer or more tender, and you don't need to know what you're doing. You can just throw everything together. It works really quick, right? If you want to prepare a soup, soups are not really my specialty, but it's very easy in the slow cooker. You know, just pour your broth there, pour some veggies there, put your protein, maybe put some garlic and some other spices, and just let it cook. Walk away, come back 3 hours later, and it's gonna taste pretty darn good. So, yeah, if you put it on the low setting, maybe, you know, it's like 6 hours. If you were gonna, you know, do it in the morning, go to work. You know, if you wanna have it ready, come for yoga, you know, put it on the, you know, medium or high setting. Again, very little cleanup with that. And this is something, like I said, you can set up in the morning, go out, come back in the afternoon, it's ready. Don't have to stir, don't have to check on it, your house won't burn down. That's what they're there for, okay? They don't use that much energy again. Any questions about the air fryers or slow cookers?
They even sell liners for the slow cookers,
Yeah.
so you can just take the liner out and throw it away.
Yeah.
And it's clean.
Ah, okay. My mom has an old school one, so, yeah. And
You
like
can
I-
also use parchment paper in it too. I do that with the oatmeal cookie, so it doesn't fall through the grate. So I put the cookie on the parchment paper.
That's what I do with the oven. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna ask about broiling, so, like with salmon, a lot of times I'll broil it.
Uh-huh.
Is that okay, or am I like not getting as many nutrients from broiling it, or is it fine?
I mean, it's fine.
Okay.
Always like steaming versus boiling. Steaming is gonna preserve, you know, more nutrients.
Okay.
You know, again, putting things in the oven also is gonna take, you know, more nutrients, but, you know, also you have to enjoy your food. That also does affect how you know, absorb the food too. So if it's enjoyable to you, great, do that.
So what about the air fryer? Does it take a little bit from the salmon?
I mean, anytime you know, you cook things, it is gonna
Yeah.
take, you know, it's what is gonna, you know, preserve it the most. You know, steaming is probably, like I said, it's gonna be, you're gonna preserve the most amount of nutrients. But, you know, again, air frying is not gonna be as bad as like frying, or it's not gonna be probably as bad, maybe it's gonna take less than putting in the oven because it's less time there.
So should we not cook our salmon well done?
How do you enjoy your salmon?
I don't know. I mean, like, I like it kind of soft, you know, but I don't like it like raw like sushi.
Okay, well, cook it how you enjoy it. I mean, everyone's gonna have different.
But I'm asking like as far as nutrient wise, which would be the
The ideal way to cook it is kind of how they recommend meat, is a medium cook. So the thing is that when you cook it, you cook it to the point where maybe it looks like, oh, it's not fully cooked, but it's almost there.
okay.
And then it's gonna keep cooking a little bit longer because the heat's already there. That's when it's ready. Like, I'm very picky, like I like my fish very soft. Yeah, I'm very picky about
Yeah, I don't
it.
like
Like, once
it
it gets to
raw.
the point, you know, beyond that, it's like, well, don't wanna eat that anymore.
Okay.
So you kind of just think about it like, you know, kind of think about it like meat, cause like I said, once, you know, if you go, okay, no, it needs to cook a little bit more, just know it's gonna cook a lot more, you know, because the heat is locked in there,
Got it.
so that's what we do. Yeah. Any other questions?
Just one little comment.
Yeah.
I got a expensive rice cooker from Costco, and it comes with a tray at the top that you can put like your salmon
Oh,
or
so
your
you can
vegetables,
steam while
and
you're
it'll
doing your
steam.
rice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you just put it
Yeah.
all in there and turn it on, and when
That's
it
cool.
beeps, you have your whole meal right there.
Yeah, and the air fryers do that too. The air fryers have a steam there too.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many. Now there's like, you know, yes, there's so many conveniences for it. Yeah. Aren't you glad you're here today?
They put all this stuff with me in mind.
Yeah. All right, so pressure cookers. Now, pressure cookers maybe are not as common here in the United States, but they'll provide you with the same tenderness and richness of flavors as the slow cooker, even more so, because the slow pressure cooker, it locks.
Mhm.
So once you lock it, all the moisture gets soaked in. Talk about getting the most amount of nutrients. That's really probably gonna be the best way. I didn't even think of that until I came there, because there's nowhere for it to escape to. It's all locked in there, so you're gonna get, more than even steaming, because like I said, it can't escape, so that's a really good way, and it's super, super soft. It's similar to well, like I already said that, okay. Pressure cookers, reduce your cook time by about 2/3 as well. So you'll get your food cooked, quicker, softer. For example, traditional preparation of bone broth, if you know what bone broth is, it takes about 12 to 14 hours to make the traditional bone broth with all the nutrients in it. In a pressure cooker, well, you know, you put the bones, whatever the nutrients seep into the liquid. In a pressure cooker, it only takes 20 minutes.
Whoa.
And you have the same amount of nutrients and things like that. So that's how much it cuts it down. Yeah, same flavor and everything. So pressure cookers are very common in India. So if you had Indian food, you know, that's kind of like how you know the food's gonna kind of turn out not as spicy unless you put the same spices. But as far as the softness, as far as the richness of flavor, that's what pressure cookers do. Indians, like they don't use their oven, they don't use, you know, stove, like there's no air fryer. I mean, that's what they cook with, pressure cookers. Yeah, so very, like I said, similar profile.
Bone broth. I know this might sound silly, but is it actually bones or, cause I never made bone broth, I don't know.
No,
I mean,
so-
I've had bone broth, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know what.
So what you
said make it homemade, so I'm trying to.
So what you do is you boil the bones, and within our bones, we have nutrients, because our bones actually break down all the time, so there's all these nutrients here, you know, and so those nutrients are seeping into the water and creating a broth, and there's collagen in there, and there's all kinds of other nutrients, you know, I don't know how to name all of them, but there's, collagen is the most thing that people are looking for from the bone broth. So yeah, that's what's happening. You know, people also eat bone marrow. When you take the bone marrow, I think you need to get special, like the bones that have the marrow in it, and then they can cut it in half, and then you just stick it in the oven, cook it for like, I think like 12 to 14 minutes. Put a little bit of, I don't know what spice my friend said, or herb, whatever, some little herb there, I can't remember, that has these little leaves, a little bit of salt, and it tastes, I guess, really good. I never tried it, because I don't eat meat.
So we talking about chicken bones or what?
For the bone broth, you can use any type of bones, even fish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you mix them, like some chicken, some fish bones, put it all together?
I've never tried that, but you know what? We are talking about creativity. So you
Yeah.
try that, come back to me and let me know how that tastes.
I'm sure you can,
Yeah.
cause, you know, if you put, you know, chicken and turkey or whatever, you can use all those bones together. I probably wouldn't do beef and
Wow.
chicken. Yeah, I probably wouldn't mix the types of birds together or whatever, but, I mean, you know, bird with a, beef, but.
If you've ever had ramen, if you have traditional ramen,
Yeah.
that's made with bone broth. If you ever had
Right.
pho, that's made with traditional bone broth. That's why it tastes so delicious. And I mean, I lived in Asia for, you know, 5 years, so I mean, I'll just drink broth. I don't eat meat, but I'll drink the broth because I just love the taste. It's very good, very nutritious. I even did a bone broth fast for 5 days. Still practicing, still teaching, fine, because I was getting all my nutrients. So, yeah.
I want that recipe. I need it bad.
Well, here's the recipe. Bones, chicken, whatever bones you wanna put, you know, just a big pot, you know, or if you get the pressure cooker, fill it up with water, put, whatever seasonings you want. It's kinda like the slow cooker, you can't really go wrong. I would put, I think, turmeric, salt and pepper. That's it. And then just drink it. You can just put it in a coffee mug and drink it like like a drink, yeah. Or if you're doing the bone broth cleanse, I think I drink like 1.5 cups or something like that. You know, just whenever I feel hungry. That's it. Any other questions about
You know,
pressure cooker?
speaking about drinks, what I love to do, and I got this from a friend of mine, she said to get a big pot and steam vegetables. So I get the big bag of Costco and I steam it, and the water underneath that is green, the water's better than the vegetable. So I drink it like a
Yeah.
tea, but warm.
Yeah.
It's heaven. And I'm like, potatoes, broccoli, cauliflower, corn. I mean, it's like a explosion of vegetables in your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom does that whenever she boils broccoli. She leaves the water there, and she's like, "Don't touch it, I'm gonna drink it later." I'm like, "Okay, Mom, make sure you drink it because I'm ready to wash that pot." Yeah, and she was getting on me when I was there last time. I made peas, split green peas, and she was like, "Why did you throw out the water?" She's like, "There's no protein left in your peas.
Yeah.
It was there in the water." And I was like, "Oh, okay." My mom's a nurse, so she knows a lot about making.
Yeah.
So yes. All right, so blenders. Blenders are great for your morning smoothie, your protein shakes, also soups. And if you have a fancy one like a Vitamix or a Ninja, you can prepare nut butters. You can even prepare yogurts, you can prepare the nice cream. And if you have the attachments, again, you can chop, the fruits and veggies into those attachments as well. And yeah, okay. And I also included, on your recipe list, there's some recipes there, sorry, for the pressure cookers. I forgot to say that. Yeah, that's about it with blenders. Blenders are pretty straightforward. Food processors are used to quickly and easily chop, slice, shred, grind, and puree pretty much any food. That's a food processor right there. And they do this more uniformly and evenly and smoother than any other appliance. So, if you have some recipes or whatever you're having guests over, that's a really good way to chop up your food. You can do things like oat flour, nut butters, granola butter, which is something new that I saw, pie crust, cauliflower rice, potato pancakes, which I have the recipe there too. Even the coleslaw veggies, you can chop up. You could also make jams, which is nice if you like jam. You don't want to have all the sugar. You want to put your own type of sweetener. That's also good. Again, I have some recipes, there on one of the websites for those. Now, the last one that you're going to be very excited about are Thermomixes, which nobody mentioned about. I don't know if they're, again, as common here, very common in Australia. All my friends have them. They're very handy. It's basically a food processor and a cooker all in one. It can cook, it can boil, it can simmer, it can steam, it can chop, mince meats, nuts, herbs, and vegetables. It can also blend, whisk, grate, puree, and crush. So think of things like mayo, sauces, jams, dips, curry pastes, stock, custard, ice cream, and yogurt, all made from scratch. It can also meal nuts, rice, and grains into flour. So for people who are gluten-free or who have food intolerances or simply are trying to avoid preservatives and additives, this is a great option for you. Very, very easy, very convenient. It will knead dough, so you can quickly and easily whip things up like cookies, cakes, breads, pizza dough, and pastries, again, completely from scratch. The benefit of a Thermomix is not only the versatility, but it saves you a lot of time and effort because it does everything from start to finish. Because like I said, it does the first process and it also does the cooking. It has a set and forget function, so you can simply throw all of your ingredients in there. You have a big smile, and walk away and it'll cook and be ready for you whenever you choose to come back. So think of risotto in 20 minutes, already done. Moms can prepare baby food and know exactly what ingredients they're giving to their babies. And because it's so easy, things that you perhaps were too timid to try before or didn't have time for now are very tangible because, like I said, it does everything. It also saves energy, and because it's so versatile, it also saves you space because you won't have to have, the blender and the food processor and, all the other things. You just need that little device and it's really gonna do everything. Now, the only drawback is it's German made and it does multiple jobs and it does them very well, but it's kind of expensive. The newest model that I saw retails for $1,500. But if you're thinking about how much it does, and like I said, if you're someone who is health conscious or has, some kind of food intolerances, you probably will pay for it in about a year. I mean, you think about how much you paid for oat flour or coconut flour or all the alternatives, and just put that all together, you can just make it there. So, yes. All right, any questions about that? No? Okay. So just some comments about utensils. Utensils are also important, so don't forget those. You want those in your kitchen. Make sure you have proper utensils such as spatulas, large mixing spoons, things like that. And you basically want to have ones that are wooden or stainless steel. You also have a handout in your packet about those. You also want to have a decent set of knives for cutting. They don't have to be, costly. You just want a couple of sharp knives, and this will make, chopping, slicing, and cutting so much more easy and enjoyable. Even if you have the devices that do it for you, sometimes you just, do something quick, have a sharp one. Like I said, you have food choppers, slicers, whatever. There's also little choppers or slicers that you can get. They're very small. If you just want to have something, convenient like that, I think they're like $15 from Walmart. It kind of looks like a food processor, but it's like that small, and those can also chop for you. So also you want to have cutting boards, wooden or plastic. You can do something like use a plastic for your meat and the fish, and the wooden for your fruits and vegetables. Basically, you want to keep those separate. You don't want to, be mixing the same cutting board for fruits, vegetables, and then meats. So something that I know that they do, like in kitchens and things like that, is they have different colors. So if you had the plastic, you could have, 3 different colors: green for your fruits and veggies, red for your meats, and then yellows for your fish. One way to keep track of it. All right. Any questions, comments? What's that?
Do you want me to get the food?
Yeah, you can. All right, so now for the fun part. We're gonna do a little demo. I do like I said, I do like doing things from scratch. So I have some samples, and I'm gonna do a nut butter here. Like I said, you can do nut butters in a blender, a high-powered blender, but you can also do them in the food processor. I like to do it in the food processor because, again, like I said, it's smoother and more uniform when it does it in here. Very, very easy. You will not believe, if you've never done it before, how easy it is. So, does anybody have any food allergies? No allergies? Okay, great. If you do have some people that do or whatever, you don't have to use peanuts, you can use almonds, you can use any nut, really. I bought these already roasted, unsalted. Make sure it's unsalted. It tastes really funny if it's salted and you make the nut butter. You can put the salt later. I don't think you can, well, no, sometimes you can find almonds already roasted, dry roasted. But if not, it takes like 10 minutes to roast them in the oven. And so this is how easy it is. You've got your food processor. Okay, like I said, these are already roasted. No oil, no water. I don't buy nut butter. Again, living in Mexico, a lot of health foods are, a lot more expensive. And so I decided to buy a food processor and do it myself. And then I realized, wow, I can have almond butter whenever I want and not spend $15 for something that's gonna last me a week. And there's also ones that are mixed, with mixed nuts and seeds and stuff like that. You've probably seen those. You just do it yourself. I've tried tahini. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm not giving up, but yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. I've made macadamia nut butter, cashew butter, very good. My friend had told me he made walnut butter, pecan butter. I haven't tried that yet. Like I said, there's the granola butter, which is brand new to me, so that could also be something to try. So you can see that now it's starting to change the consistency. So, this is kind of like, I guess like dough. And then the consistency will start to change. You'll know when the butter is there. And again, you don't have to stay and watch it. You can walk away. Even if it's ready and it still keeps turning, it's okay. It's not, again, your house isn't gonna blow down. Blow up. Nothing's gonna happen. Pets can't get to it. Okay, so now you can probably start to see that it's starting to stick on the sides. So it's starting to get ready. Yeah, that's why I wanted to do this. Because and then the taste is just totally different. I've been dating somebody who always has Jiffy, and I'm like, how are you eating Jiffy? You're too old to be eating Jiffy. And I'm just waiting to, make him, some nut butter, but I have to go to his house and do it because if I make it, I'm just gonna eat it. So you saw the nuts.
So you do your hummus like that also?
You do the hummus like this too.
Oh my goodness, this is so
Wow.
Let me see. Oh my
Today.
So cheap.
Today. Where did you get that one?
And that's it?
This one is Kim's, so I should probably got it at Costco, but mine is from Walmart.
Oh my God.
Done. This is done.
That's it?
And then, like I said, I'm recycle clean. So I think this is actually a peanut butter.
Yeah.
Girl Scout.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Okay.
And
Yes.
I don't know where she went, but let me grab. So we're gonna have some samples here. Like I said, some steel cut oats.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like we can take our food back. You know what I mean?
So I wanted to do steel cut oats because I figured a lot of people just, use oatmeal and they don't really know that steel cut oats, they look at them, it's very hard, just like the cauliflower we're talking about and the cabbage, they can be soft. You can make them in the rice cooker as well. You can also make it in the slow cooker. Again, that's gonna make it a lot softer than just doing it on the stove.
I need to bring you home with me.
Okay, so our samples today are going to be like the steel cut oats, but I don't like to do things boring. I was told by my yoga guru, Bikram, he said he doesn't like vegetables. We always, after the trainees go to sleep, we go up to his room and watch movies, eat dinner and stuff like that. He's like, Christina, you make a sexy salad. So I'm like, you know what? All my food is sexy. So, we didn't have bowls, so I'm just gonna, put them on the same plate, but it's okay. The taste is going to be the same. And you wanna reheat it, even if you put it in the microwave, just put some water and just do that. That's just really easy. So we have the oats here. I like to put a little bit of peanut butter. Do me a favor. Or whatever, nut butter you have. Yeah. And then you're gonna have to mix this yourself. That's the part you're gonna do. Cinnamon? Anybody have issues with cinnamon? Okay. Have some cinnamon. Anybody have chocolate allergy? Okay. Cacao.
Okay, girl, this is looking so amazing.
And a little bit of sea salt because, yes, when you buy nut butters, they usually have salt, but I made it fresh. Anybody have chocolate allergy? Okay, a little bit of cacao.
Okay, girl, this is looking so
I made it fresh.
Okay.
And then, if you wanna have a little bit of sweet, like I said, the agave is very easy, you know, because it's easier to spread. Little sprouts, all I did, I made these in the air fryer. And, all I did was I just put some, extra virgin olive oil, we say EVU, and then this, you know, like I said, this organic, no salt seasoning, basically Mrs. Dash, and the pink salt. That was it. They roasted for like 15 or 20 minutes, and that was it.
Not an oatmeal eater, will this make you like oatmeal?
I think so. With the Brussels sprouts, you know, if you have these cooked, you know, you can just use them as a side. You can also put them, like I said, into Buddha bowls. You can put them into a wrap. You can make a salad.
With the Brussels sprouts?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. You can also make like a stir fry if you want.
Thank you.
You can just drop them into soup.
Thank you.
Like if you, like say if you made butternut squash soup, you're like, I want another vegetable. Just drop it in. You can, yeah, you can just put it on bread for a snack. My favorite dessert is yogurt with nut butter. That is my favorite dessert. So I'm not really a big snacker. I just like to eat food that, you know, because if I'm hungry, I'm hungry. So my body wants. You can also put it on, let's say, like I said, the apple slices. If you have a muffin or something, I mean, a muffin is just carbs. The minute you put the butter, the nut butter, you also have a source of, you know, little protein, but it's mainly a fat. Fats are really good because it sustains energy. You can also make my raw Snickers bars. Make all kinds of sweet treats with them, with the nut butter. And you know what? I mean, if you're looking at this, you could also make this a cookie. And you could do it in your air fryer. I have a recipe for breakfast cookies. Like I said, just give me a few years and there is going to be a wellness center on the beach. And there's gonna be yoga there, meditation there, dancing, because I think dancing is very important.
Yeah.
Health coaching, and the restaurant. And the restaurant is gonna be the food experience, and it's gonna be like this type of food times 10, because there'll be somebody else, you know, cooking it in the kitchen. Locals. Whenever you have something hard like grains or rice, you already know about, you know, beans. But also with the rice and like these, I do soak it. You don't have to, but it'll cook it quicker. It'll probably be the quickest way, probably in the rice cooker. But you can cook it on the stove.
Yeah, I use the stove for a long time. It's not like this. This is my stove already.
Water. Put water.
Added water?
Yeah. I wanted to do oats. I was like, you know what? I'm going for the steel cut. Because I gotta show these people that steel cut can be sexy.
Now the Brussels sprouts are good. You
Oh.
put them in
In the air fryer.
With olive oil.
Olive oil, this, you know, mixed, this mixed seasoning. You can see what's in there, and then just the pink salt. And I like to, you know, I put them in salads all the time. Like I said, in a Buddha bowl.
What you do to your wrap?
What's that?
What you do to your Brussels sprout?
Olive oil.
Himalayan pink
This
sea
mix,
salt.
that mix, yeah, Himalayan pink salt and that mixed herb. That's it. That's it.
In air fry.
Yeah. And just like
Or
air
no, you
fry-
did it on bake, right?
But in the air fryer.
Yeah, in the air
for
fryer
like
on
15
bake.
minutes. Listen, okay, so very, you know, it's is there. And I mean, I can just keep that in the fridge for like up to 2 weeks.
What?
The oats,
Really?
they're fine.
Uh-huh.
They're fine there. And like I said, whenever you just wanna use them, you know, just put a little water. Or, you know, in the winter, I like to have it warm. But in the summer, you know, in spring, it's fine cold. I just put the plant milk,
Right.
mix it, and it's fine.
So how did you make your oats?
I made these on the stove top, but all I did, like I said, I soaked the steel cut oats for about 6 hours. Overnight, you don't have to soak them, but it makes it easier. And then put them on the stove top with water, lots of water. I put it on high, get it to boil. Once it boils, turn it way down, like the lowest setting, cover it, yeah, and just let it simmer. You know, and that's just put plenty of water and just leave it. Because the water is what makes it soft.
I'm
You
gonna
know.
try this.
Yeah.
And so, this is my problem here. I live alone, and I guess I'm not taking care of myself. I don't cook. I make the salad, like we did before, sometimes I do that, or I go buy a veggie salad. Just the other day, I was thinking, what am I gonna eat? I don't know what I'm gonna eat. So I just grabbed a pear, and I just went to bed. So I gotta get into that, taking care of myself more and cooking
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, and I mean, like, just do, like I said, when you cook, don't just cook for one meal. Be like, okay, that's what I'm saying, you know, that's almost a whole bag of Brussels sprouts. So, like, cook like half the bag, you know, cook the whole head of cauliflower. Because it only takes you like 20 minutes to cook that whole head. You know, put a whole sheet of, you know, roasted vegetables, it's only gonna take you again like 20 or 30 minutes. And then you have it, and then you have meals, you know, you're taking, you know, care of yourself, you're not eating a pear, and you'll enjoy it. And of my workshop, thank you so much for coming. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
And so remember, you know, like I said, enjoy what you're eating, make sure it nourishes you and uplifts you. Have a relationship with your food, and like I said, and then that's just gonna transform everything. So, thank you so much for coming. I hope this, you know, helped you. I know it will.
Yeah.
And please, it's free, so please, you know, make the most of it. I love doing it because it's funny because, you know, people think, oh, it's health coaching and like I'm talking about food and, you know, exercise and blah, blah, but, you know, especially what I do personally, it's really, you know, food and exercise and these other things. My clients, it's like, you know, we're not even talking about those things. Those things happen, but we're talking about things like relationships. We're talking about things about like, you know, social life. We're talking about spiritualism. And really the heart of it is, yes, getting you to be the best version of yourself. That is what I do with health coaching. So that's really very important and very close to my heart. That is my intention. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.